Hello, welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. Today I am going to be making some gift cards and some tags to put on some gifts. And I'm using the Ciao Memories of a Snowy Day scraps left over from last week's project. I have quite a bit of papers left over from last week's journal, but I decided to pull out the smaller scraps and see what I could make with those as far as gift cards. And I'm also, I know it's messy, I've already been using it this morning. I'm also going to be using my Snowflake Ciao stencil. I'm really in love with this stencil. And I'm going to use my Distress Texture Paste by Ranger. It's the Crackle. I'm also going to be using some ground espresso to ink the papers. And I have gone ahead and inked these little cards. Let me see that I'm using. And so I've just inked around those with the Distress Oxide. I think this looks really good with this paper. And so what I want to do is I want to start out making these cards by stenciling them first with some of the texture paste. And so I will have to say, my mat is a mess already because I've been playing around with it all week. I've been, not these cards, but I've been playing around with my texture paste and this stencil all week. I absolutely love this Snowflake stencil. So let's get started. Let's just take one of the cards, and I'm going to kind of use the same formula for each card so that these can be made pretty quickly. Since we are on the week of Christmas, so these are some last minute gift tags to make, and you want to just use the same formula on each so you really don't have to think about it. So I'm going to start out with just stenciling some snowflakes onto my Brown Craft Cardstock, and I just had some 8.5 by 11 regular cardstock laying around that was craft color, and so I just cut it down to various sizes. The gift card size that I cut down to was 4 by 6.5, and then I just folded it in half, and that fit the, let me get this up here, that fit the card size that I'm going to be putting on top, these little cards from the pack. It fit it really nicely, so I thought that that would be a good size for it. I'm trying to get that lined up. Oh, the first one I did, the stencil didn't get all the way to the edge. I kind of want it going over the edge some, so let me try this one a little differently. Just getting some snowflakes on here. Okay. And the Crackle Paste is just a texture paste. It's just a bit different. It's a little bit more runny and more like it has the feeling of paint until it dries. So we've got that one there. And I'm getting this all over here, so I don't want to get on the back side. So let me see here. Let me wipe that off there, and then you got on the edge there, so let me wipe that off. And then let's see, make sure I didn't get on this one. Just wipe it off the edges. Okay. So I think I'm going to use some book pages. Since I have some here that's from where I've been working on an altered book, I just have some scrapbook pages. I think that's what I'm going to use so that I can protect, and then I'll just switch out each time so I can protect the back side of these. I went ahead and inked this one, then I realized once I inked it that when I add the stencil on, it's probably going to add some of the ink to the stencil, but I'm still going to try it and see. What if this one, I said I was going to use the same formula, and then once I do that, I start thinking, okay, what if I try something different for this one? So I'm going to take and just add down here at the bottom too. I could still kind of use the same formula for these, but okay. They don't all have to be the same. It was just that I want to make things easy since it's getting so close to Christmas. Okay, so we can just flip. No, we're going to add another one on top there because these are trash anyway. It's just where I was altering a book, I pulled these out, so we can use those to go underneath. Let me wipe my hands off. I am an absolute mess when it comes to doing any type of craft like this when I'm using texture paste or paint, but I really do like getting messy anyway, so as long as I don't mess up my project, it's fun to be messy. Okay. Just gonna do this one the same, just put in the upper part, upper corner here. And if we find that we want it in the bottom corner, I can always come back and add it once this is dry. Okay, I like that. This one's going to be a tag. I should have cut that. I did not cut it yet, but that's okay. we'll just trim it down with the stenciling on there, and I'll do this one the same way as well. This one I'm going to go further down with it and just see how it looks. This is just paper, right? If we mess up, we just start over with another piece. I've got plenty of this craft cardstock. I always try to keep some craft cardstock because I really like using it in lots of projects. It's very neutral and can be used with lots of papers. And the brown went really good with this kit. Ooh, that one I might have pulled up too fast, but that's okay. It looks good. So now it's on the back side of that one. Uh-oh. Okay, we may have to add something to the back of that one. Let's just add another paper down. And let's do another tag. Make sure I got the right side up. Let's see, right here. It's a little cleaner. What if I did it like that? And I got my finger in that one. No worries though, because we're going to cover it mostly up with paper. This is just going to be in the background some. It's not the main focus of the tag. So we're going to have paper as our focal point, and this is just in the background. So it does not have to be perfect. Okay. There we go. That's another tag. I'm trying to be clean the best I can. Be neat. Okay. We'll do one more. If you don't have book pages, if you don't have any extra book pages laying around like I do, you could use just scrap paper that you have left over. I have used wax paper. You could use wax paper, and I guess you could wipe it off each time. You could have a wet cloth and just be wiping your counter off each time, but you know me, I'm messy. So let's see here. Oops, I think it moved. I hope it didn't. It's just a little tag. Not going to worry. It did move a little, but that's okay. It's still looking good. Okay, so those need to dry. While those are drying, I'm going to go wash my stencil, and then I'll be right back. But before I do that, I'm going to cover up. Be sure to put the lid on your texture paste because it can dry out. Okay, so this one seems dry enough. I'm letting the others dry for now, and then I'm going to wash off everything because I'm still got this texture paste all over my mat and all over my hands. I tried to wash my hands, but then I came back to dry them and got some on it. But I think this one's dry enough that we could try laying out some pieces. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the scraps that was left over, and I think for this one I'm going to go straight across and then kind of to the just up and down like this. But I'm going to have to decide which ones get which pieces, since some of them have a lot of snow and some of them don't have as much snow. So here is one of our squirrels. So we could he's going to be turned like that. And so let's see, what do we have behind him? We can put the solid red, well, not solid, but it's more red, or I can do the little berries that matches his frame. So let's just try that. And I'm kind of doing, like I said, I'm going to do the same formula for all of them. They're all going to have a little strip behind them and some snowflakes. And I like that. That's just cute and simple. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this, just the edges of it, because I did not, and then I got to trim it off to the right length. So I won't ink the bottom yet. I'm just going to get, so I'm not going to measure or anything. I'm just going to cut this today. Just take my scissors and hold it up to it and cut. And then we'll just ink that. And this is just going to be a quick project that you can get done in no time at all, so you can have some gift tags made up. And you could do this with any paper, but I just love this Ciao paper, and I wanted another reason to use it. So I thought that using these bits and pieces that were left over was a great way to use it to make some little gift tags. And you could also, you wouldn't have to use this as gift tags. These could be great journaling cards to put in the journal we made last week using this paper. And so that's another idea. You could just make these into journaling spots and add them to the journal. And I have considered doing that, but I'm going to add these to the gifts. And I'm not going to embellish these up a lot. I'm just going to keep it simple. I do have this little poinsettia that I have made up that's on my desk. I only have one of them right now. I may have to pause and make a few more up because I think that looks cute with this paper. So I think I'm just going to add this little poinsettia as well. And on the inside of this poinsettia, that was just a die I had, and then you can see that little pearl on the inside. That is these Nuvo Crystal Drops, and it's the, let's see what color is this one. It's the oyster gray, but I will link it below as well. These came from the Rubber Buggy, and this is my Rubber Buggy design team project. This paper came from the Rubber Buggy. They sent me this paper, and they also sent me these drops, and these, I ordered that from them as well. So I will link to their shop below to all these products. They have lots of great products, and all of this came from their shop, except for the brown cardstock. I don't even remember where that came from. I've had that in my stash for years. So I buy up, when cardstock is on sale somewhere, I will buy it up, and then I just put it on my shelf, and then I use it, you know, over and over all the time. So that one didn't even have a label on it. So the piece of paper that was in there, the front top of it to be a label, is gone. So I can't tell you where I got it, but the rest of this came from the Rubber Buggy. And this die is just the die I had as well. But they do have dies at the Rubber Buggy. I hadn't looked to see if they have a poinsettia die or not. Since I already had one, I didn't look for one. So I think that's cute. That'll make a cute little card. And kind of use the same formula on each one. I'm going to add a band behind each one, and I think I'll go ahead and add a poinsettia to each one as well. Okay, so let's take, and I think this one's dry enough now. And it's starting to crackle. I love the crackle look on this paste. So there, we've got that one. So let's figure out which one is going on it. Let's see here. This one, all of them is dry now, I think. So maybe that one. I may want to put this one on a tag so that it can actually, kind of like that, so you can actually see it. And then maybe go across here like this. What's on the other side? Okay. We'll try two different ways. So we could do this across and then have it right here. Or we can have the red. I kind of like that. So let's cut our tag shape. Let's just flip this over. And, okay. There we go. Are they even? Pretty much so. So now I just need to ink this. And then I'm going to trim it off. Just have to hold it up to the edge here. Just like the last one. I'm not going to measure. I'm just going to hold it up and cut it off. Just want to make sure I have it straight when I do. Then I'll just ink the corner there, the end. Just a little bit more ink to this. There we go. That's showing it better. Right, so that's going to be there. And then this will go right on top. Kind of like this. So I think that'll make a cute little tag. So let me just add some glue. Add some glue to it. And I kind of like having a formula worked out for these instead of having to decide on each one, because it makes it easier to go through and make them up. And sometimes I think it's more fun when you already have, you do the same thing on each one. But it doesn't look the same because you're using different papers. And when you stencil like this with the texture paste, it's always going to come out differently each time. Add a lot of glue there because sometimes it's hard to get this to glue to the texture paste. I'm going to hold that for just a moment. Get that pressed down. Let me see if I can press it here. Okay. And then I am going to add these poinsettias. Let me show you. I think I'll add one to here too. Kind of like that. I think it decorates it up. But for now, I'm going to wait because, just trying to see where I'm going to put this one. I think it will just be the bottom corner. I'm going to wait because I've got the little drops drying, so I'm just going to hold off on that. So then I will punch a hole in this and tie a ribbon in a moment as well. But let's make the next one, then we can do all that at the same time. Let's see, one of these cards. Let's see, which one do we want to, thinking of adding, let me take that off. So you can just scrape those off the corner that's hanging over. That's what I'm going to do, so it doesn't have any hanging over. And I think that might be cute. Or we could do this one. Let me see here. Here's a little scrap there. And then you have, just looking here, maybe a little scrap like this. And then we have the little round one that we can add. I think that's cute. So let's just do that. So we'll just trim this off. We'll just ink it up. And I love, look how that looks. It looks so good when you ink this paper with that ink. And it is ground espresso that I'm using. I'm not sure if I said earlier. So we're just going to attach that there. And since it is so much texture paste, I am going to use my Fabri-Tac. Or if you had 3-in-1 glue from this company, I think that would work just the same. And the reason I'm using the Fabri-Tac is because there is so much texture paste that it is hard for it to stick sometimes. So, oops. Trying to find my paper towel so I can just wipe some of that glue off. And then we will attach this like that. I don't know if I want it to be maybe like that. And I'm not sure that this one needs the, I don't know that it needs the flower. I'm not gonna, I'll see at the end when they're dry. So there is another one. And this was the one I had already inked up before. I wonder if I should add some Fabri-Tac underneath that, but I think it's going to be okay because it was attached mainly to that card there. So we have another tag. Oops, that's the wrong glue lid. So these are coming along really quickly. I've got 3 tags already. So I want to go ahead and ink this one before I forget to. Now let's lay those aside and make a few more. So we have this little card here, and we could turn it, we could put this little guy on there. You're not going to really see much of the snowflakes if we put this one on there. But, oh, this one's pretty too. You're just going to see a little bit of the snowflakes. And then this one, we could put this little piece. And then like this. I think that's pretty, so we're going to add it. Go ahead and trim it down. Let's see here. And then we'll ink it up and add it. Trying to find my glue. I was reaching for the Nuvo Drops instead of the glue. Just add that there. I really think I'm going to have to go back and make some journaling cards for my journal I made last week as well with this. I think I'm going to have to do the same thing and make some journaling cards because there's lots of these cards where I got several of the kits. Each one had some of these cards in it, so I think I'm going to have to go back and use some of these and go ahead and make some more journaling cards for that journal. Because I think I'm going to use that journal to add Christmas pictures and winter pictures in it. So I think it'd be nice to have some more little journaling cards in it. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it in the upper right hand corner here, and I can link it below as well in the description of this video so that you can see what I'm talking about with that one, with that journal. So I think that looks cute there. So let's just add that. Okay, just going to add it to that little corner right there. Try not to push down on the Nuvo Drops because I don't think they're totally dry yet, so I'm going to have to set that aside to dry. But if I just press on the edges, I think we'll be good. So that's another cute little tag. And we have these. Okay, so here is another little card from the kit, and it has a little bird at the top here, so I think that would look cute. So now we just have to find some leftover paper that could go across, and I'm thinking, just looking in my scraps here they got laying on the desk, just trying to see what all I have. I think this one will be good. So I'm just going to cut a strip out of it, then it'll go across here, and then we'll have this on top. But I think I need to even that up just a little. Somehow I had cut it a little crooked, and then we'll just trim it off here. Ink it and see how it looks underneath that bird. And I think that'll be a good one as well. And we're still using our same little formula for our tags. Because I think for the tags you're going to need the images that go up and down instead of from side to side. Just want to cut the corners here. Feels a little sad to cut our snowflakes off that we added, but we've got to make it into a tag, so we have to do that. We'll just add a little glue. And then I'm going to add a little fabric tack to add a little bird journaling card. That way, since there's so much texture paste at the top, I think it will stick better. There we go. Okay, and then a little bitty poinsettia added to it. I think would be cute, but I'm not sure which side. Either this side or that side. Kind of like it over here, but I think it should go over here since the bird is on that side. So I'm just going to add it. And I don't know if the Nuvo Drops is dry yet, so I'm trying not to touch them. Well, it's kind of dry. I tapped it just a little to see. It's sort of dry, but not totally dry. So there we go. So that's another little tag. So we've made quite a few little tags. I don't need that many. I'm going to add these to gifts, and so I think that these will be great added to the gifts. Did I ask if I wanted to add? Yes, I love that. I'm going to definitely add that. So let's just add some glue here. Maybe I was waiting for these to dry when I made this one up, because I think that looks cute on there. Yeah, that looks good. That adds to it. Oh, that one's dry, so I can press on it. So we have that one. I think they all have little flowers on them now, except for this one. I haven't decided. This one, I think a little flower down there would be good, so let's just do that too. And decide not to go with just red for my poinsettias. I added a little of this gray in here, and that's just some cardstock that I had as well on hand, but I thought it looked really good with the gray in the background of these cards. So here are our finished tags and gift cards, and I really love how these turned out. I think these squirrels are adorable, and this paper is absolutely beautiful, and so I wanted another reason to play with the paper, and I'm going to be sad when this paper's all gone, but at the same time, I don't want to hoard it up. I want to use it and play with it. So this was a good reason to play with it today. And so I can include it in the gifts that I am packaging up this week. And so for the tags, I wanted to show you, I used jute on one and tied a little bow. And then on the other one, I used some crochet lace. And I'm not sure which one I like best. I'm thinking about going back and putting crochet lace in that one, but I'm not sure yet. And I realize here I forgot to put a Nuvo drop, so let's just put one on this one. So there we go. So we have our little drop there, and it can be drying. And this one I'm going to shape it up just a little bit better. I think it got kind of smushed. I may have accidentally glued it on too soon. But there we have it. We have all of our little tags and cards done for today. And thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And I hope that you've enjoyed seeing this paper used. And I'm not sure if I'll do any more projects before the end of the year, but if I come up with something, I'll be sure to show you. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.